Welcome into room 442. Sarah Pararia and Michael Singh join you as the UCL draw happened this morning. That's right, the Champions League quarterfinals have been determined. Mikey, what do you think of this? We have Benfica and Inter Milan, City and Bayern, Real Madrid and Chelsea, and of course AC Milan and Napoli. Now the way the bracket works is Benfica, Inter, AC Milan and Napoli are on one side, with City, Bayern, Real Madrid, and Chelsea on the other. So we'll see who gets to the finals from there. I think we all know that the big draw here was Man City and Bayern. Pep Guardiola returning to his old stomping ground.
Yeah.
And you were kind of insinuating that that's maybe something you'd like to see when we were talking about this draw?
Yeah, for sure. You'd like to see the big clubs go up against the big clubs. And for Manchester City, I mean, I feel bad because we know that this is the competition that's just eluded them, Pep Guardiola with Man City throughout this whole process. And now they get probably the worst possible bracket, worst possible draw for them. Of course, they got to go up against Bayern Munich, who I would say is probably the best team remaining in this competition. And if you do that, then you potentially go up against Real Madrid or Chelsea. So not an easy path forward for Pep Guardiola's side. If they're going to make a push here, they're going to earn it, right?
Yeah, no kidding. And like you mentioned, that the other side of that draw is also really difficult with Chelsea and Real Madrid. They really did put kind of all the big dogs on one side, with no disrespect to Benfica, Inter AC, or Napoli.
Yeah.
But there is such a divide when I look at the two sides of the bracket here.
Yeah, but I love the other side of the bracket.
Oh.
We absolutely love it because you have the stories of Benfica and Napoli who, we would love to see a team like that go through, a team that's not spending an insane amount of money. A lot of these teams are selling players actually, and yet they have a path forward now to potentially make the Champions League final, which would have been absurd to say at the beginning of the year. And for Napoli, I mean, they're a team we talk about a lot, but they're having an incredible domestic campaign. Now, I know you said Bayern and Man City are the big matchup. I'm also like really, really, really looking forward to that Napoli-Milan matchup. I think that'll be fireworks. Just the two Italian clubs, two of the biggest Italian clubs going head to head once again.
Yeah, I mean, I think the story's there, but AC Milan have been awful as of late.
Yeah.
They can't keep consistent wins. They're not playing good football, whereas Napoli's been so dominant that I think actually Napoli are just going to go through with this quite easily. I'm a bit more upset that we're not going to see Benfica and Napoli in the final because they're going to have to play one another, which I think they will in the semis. I don't really think Inter or AC Milan have done enough to even get to this point. I think they're lucky. Interesting, though, I don't know if you saw what happened this morning regarding the two Milans, is that both teams were drawn to have the home game at home first, but obviously at the San Siro, they share the stadium. You can't have back-to-back Champions League games just due to the logistics of, the police forces that need to be there. So Inter, because they finished below AC Milan last year, AC Milan obviously winning the Scudetto.
They get precedent there.
Well, yeah, so Milan got the precedent, so they're going to be at home first. So Inter had to get shifted, so now Benfica gets home advantage first. Bit of a mess with UEFA, but are we that surprised?
Yeah, I don't know if that plays that big of a role into it, though, because it's a two legs, right? So maybe it does if you look at the numbers, but they'll still get a leg at home. And just circling back to the Napoli Milan thing, I think it's gonna be a lot closer. They've played once this season, and Napoli edged them out 2-1. That was all the way back in September. And actually, really interesting is the game is supposed to be played, I think, April 11th or 12th. They're gonna play each other 3 times in the span of like 2 or 3 weeks because they also play each other in the league on April 2nd. So it's gonna be a fascinating matchup to dive into because we'll see what sort of adjustments the coaches make. But yeah, another good one. And then the Inter matchup is it's good again. It's a toss up. As good as much as we love Benfica, Inter has shown that they can play a style that is frustrating to oppositions, and they can show they can grind out matches. So it's worked so far to this point. It's nice to see both of these Milan teams as well back into the tournament. I think it's been like 11 or 12 years for each of these teams to reach this stage once again. And they, of course, we know their history. They're one of the most storied clubs. So for them to be back here it's also a really cool story, I think.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. Listen, I'm hoping that the AC Milan and Napoli game is fireworks.
Yeah.
As of right now, it's just difficult difficult to see. But it will be interesting. Let's also quickly shed some light on Chelsea and Real Madrid. Once again, a match we saw last year. We know this one too well. Real Madrid
Revenge.
coming back from behind as they did. How are you feeling if you are Graham Potter drawing Real Madrid?
Yeah, it sucks, right?
It's probably the one team, the only one out of everyone that you're like, at least just please not that team.
Why?
Because of who they are in the Champions League. Don't get me wrong, Bayern Munich is still,
And Man City.
and the way Napoli's playing, Man City as well. But if you're asking, I think the average person, if you don't want to get one team in the UCL draw out of these teams, who's it going to be? I think they would say Real Madrid because of who they are in this tournament.
Yeah, maybe because of their history and how well they perform here. But who's the favorite right now, do you think, according to the sports books, to win?
Is it not Bayern Munich?
No.
I know that Real Madrid isn't because I had actually someone message me being like, how are Real Madrid this far down? Who is it? It's City.
It's Man City. Manchester City are the favorites right now.
Do you agree with that?
Based on their draw, probably not, but they're a really good team. Like they are. And Erling Haaland has put this team, taken them to the next level, it feels like. And especially in a competition like this where, like I said, it's evaded them. They're gonna put all their focus into this I don't know. Like I don't disagree completely, I guess, let's put it that way. But I could hear the argument if someone wanted to say Bayern or even a Real Madrid. Bayern have the second shortest odds. Mm-hmm. Third shortest.
Napoli.
Actually tied with Bayern is Napoli.
Dude, I love this.
I think that's the draw, though, right? And then, of course, Real Madrid. Chelsea has the second worst odds.
Who's the worst? Is it Inter?
AC Milan.
AC Milan.
Yeah,
okay,
no surprise.
That's fair. Okay, really quickly, who are you expecting to go through?
Oh,
2 legs. Remember, we got a long way away. This is about
early
a month
predictions.
away.
Yeah, we'll do a deeper dive closer too, but just early predictions.
Day of, feeling
Let's
a little
go.
crazy.
Bayern is gonna go through against Manchester City. Let's go spicy. Let's go Chelsea. Chelsea's gonna go through against Real Madrid. I really think Graham Potter's kind of starting to turn this team around, and that's the only focus that they have at this point, right?
Mm-hmm.
Other side of the bracket, it's hard to argue against Napoli. Napoli's gonna find a way to push through against AC Milan, though I think it will be close. And then, as much as I love Benfica, I picked them to win this tournament. Inter Milan, man, I don't know. It's their style of play. I don't know. It's not pretty to watch, but I think they'll find a way.
Mikey Singh going against his early prediction to pick Benfica. I'm going Real Madrid, Benfica, Bayern, and Napoli. I also don't really want to see Inter or Milan go through anymore. I'm sick of watching this kind of football they play. But no, you make a good point. But I honestly think Real Madrid in this tournament has given me no reason. Whereas Chelsea, they could turn it around. I know they've kind of shown a little bit of that as of late. But it's only been a few games. Like, I'm not getting ahead of myself here. And it's funny that we both are taking, though, Bayern Munich over City.
It's because they've proven it, right?
Yeah.
At this stage, in this competition, Bayern's still a really, really good team. And you look at their history so far this season throughout the competition, they've conceded just a handful of times. I think only twice. And that was to Victoria Pilsen all the way back in the group stage. So they stormed through Barcelona, didn't concede a goal against them. Mm-hmm. They stormed through PSG, didn't concede a goal against PSG's attack.
But okay,
now they
the
have
thing
Erling
is with
Haaland.
PSG and Barcelona too, like you're looking at Barcelona that were, playing such terrible football at that time. PSG also have been inconsistent, I think, as well. Benfica has been a lot more of an attacking side than those two, I think. And Benfica at home this season has also been immaculate. So I think that leg at home, that first leg, if Benfica can do like a couple goals.
Why are we talking about Benfica?
Bayern.
Bayern. You're good.
Oh my God! Sorry,
it's been a long day.
It's only starting. Wait.
But you're right. Benfica has been really good defensively too in the Champions League.
What was your point about Bayern Munich
that they haven't conceded against PSG, didn't concede against Barcelona
so that's
throughout.
Why I was like, wait, are you talking about Inter? Okay. Yeah, sorry, folks at home. We're just losing the plot here. I'm probably getting ahead of ourselves a little too much. Day of the draw. There's a ton of football to be had in between. The UCL quarterfinals kick off April 11th. We're super excited, and we'll have you guys covered until then with much deeper dives into all of these matchups. Happy St. Patty's Day, everyone.